Good morning, everyone. Let me just put that down. This is a little bit better. Um, I hope everyone is well. Yesterday, I talked about the movie Karate Kid Legends, and in that video or this episode yesterday, this review about Karate Kid Legends, I said something along the lines that the story was a little bit rushed, or that the director wanted to put a lot of elements into a 90 minutes movie. And this kind of sparked this train of thought because yesterday in that video I also talked a little bit about how my style on YouTube changed on my main channel, especially after kind of doing these one take vlogs here on the second channel. And I have this kind of train of thought now where I'm thinking something along the lines authenticity versus attention span. And yesterday, watching that movie, I said that I was really entertained by that movie, but I do acknowledge that the movie was rushing some of the storylines. And I do feel like it has something to do with our attention span. I was very entertained by that movie, and I did not, I mean, on one hand, I kind of forced myself consciously not to grab my phone, but I also didn't find myself actually having the urge to kind of look for my phone and kind of, yeah, doing two things at the same time. On this channel, I always kind of talk about authenticity via the means of doing one take vlogs and keeping in mistakes, not overly producing the video with too much b-roll and stuff like that, because I feel like as soon as you keep all of the mistakes in, there is some form of relatability and therefore authenticity when the viewer watches your video. That being said, also something that I mentioned yesterday, I changed some of the types of contents on my main channel and switched out those highly produced, highly polished, edited short videos with these longer, non-edited videos. For example, when I'm doing a first impression, I really want as much authenticity as possible because I want the viewer to be there when I experience a product for the very first time. Therefore, that video is unedited. I leave mistakes in. There is no B-roll or anything like that. It's just the pure moment. But, and this is something that I noticed for myself, and is obviously a very important or it's the zeitgeist where people just realize, okay, attention span is at its low point. And while I always kind of recommend to keep those authentic moments, I do also have to acknowledge that people don't have the attention span that is required to watch these longer videos that I make on my main channel or on this channel as well. Because clearly what I'm doing here on this channel from a numbers perspective is not working at all. My channel isn't growing. I have an average of 20 views per new upload. So, and that's totally fine. I'm not kind of complaining here because this is just how I want to do this. I want to kind of present this as authentic as possible, but also more importantly, this is something for me where I can practice. I just noticed that with me doing these one take vlogs, I have become much better in fluently speaking and public speaking as well. When I have clients, sometimes I sit there with 10 to 20 people, and it became very easy for me to talk in front of those people. So that goal I achieved by doing these one take vlogs. But as I said, I need to acknowledge that due to the low point of attention span it is very hard to compete. People want highly edited, highly polished videos. Although, I mean, people still complain about videos not being authentic because they feel staged. Um, it's highly polished, especially with AI. It's very difficult to kind of see, okay, is that real or not? Or it has become much more difficult to discern something unreal and real. And that is one of the main reasons why I personally bet on this horse. Again, I'm not saying that is the right horse, and I feel like I'm the best example that this doesn't work, but I do still feel like, despite the fact that attention span is on its low, I do hope, at least, I don't know if that actually happens, but I hope that people kind of pivot and crave more listening to these honest and authentic approaches of making videos. I always say this as well. I do like watching vlogs, for example, like Life of Reza or other vlogs, and I see from a visual, and especially me as a professional film editor, um, from a storytelling standpoint, that looks amazing, and it's very entertaining. But I also, especially because I am a filmmaker, I just know, okay, that scene, you had to set up the camera multiple times. You had to repeat that motion, whatever you're doing, especially you see those like coffee vlogs or they eat at a restaurant. I just know they had to stop, break, set up the camera, stop, break, set up the camera, stop, break, set up the camera, and repeat that. And this, although visually appealing, I just subconsciously and from a film editor standpoint, also consciously know, okay, this isn't real because you had to set it up and you had to repeat that motion. If you are practiced enough, it you probably don't have to repeat whatever you're doing. Especially, I mean, I have done coffee runs on this channel with editing. I just know, okay, I do the whole action of making the coffee once, but I set up the camera as quickly as possible. And that again is tedious, is not authentic, and sometimes, especially if you do it in a restaurant, and that is something I feel very opposed to, is something where you ask people either that are sitting with you at the table or everyone else around you very uncomfortable because you basically tell everyone, okay, stop, set up the camera, stop, set up the camera again. And that again is inauthentic, and which is why I'm betting on this horse one take vlogs and just me talking to you. I feel like that is the more authentic way, and hopefully is something where I find an audience that actually crave this style. Or I have an audience. I'm not diminishing. I don't want to disrespect you who are watching. I hope you didn't feel like belittled that I said that I need to find an audience. Obviously, I have an audience. I mean, a bigger one, because as I said, this channel is not successful at all, as in terms of numbers, right? So I do feel like I find more people kind of relating to this style. But again, going back to what I was previously saying, I do feel like because of the low attention span, these types of videos, this style of making videos isn't really something that people at the moment are looking for because they don't have the time, they don't have the attention span. And I totally get that. I totally understand that, especially after watching Karate Kid Legends. It is highly edited. It was only 90 minutes, although the storylines could have benefited from a longer runtime. I probably have had wouldn't have had enjoyed the movie as much as I did because it is highly edited. It is flashy in a way, and it is short because yes, my attention span isn't great either. I'm working on that. So yeah, I get that. I get why this channel isn't as successful. I hope, and I'm betting on this horse, that people hopefully crave this authenticity a little bit more in the next few months, years, or whatever, how long I am doing this. I mean, this is already episode 240 or something. So yeah, I'm proud of making these videos. Again, from what I've said yesterday, my North Star is making these vlogs to kind of verbalize my thoughts, get better at talking. And those of you who watch this, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support and the positive feedback. And yeah, again, I like doing this, but I do acknowledge that attention span isn't really liking this type of style. Hope that made sense. Yeah, but what are your thoughts about this, especially in terms of attention span? How good is your attention span? Obviously, you watch these videos, and either you enjoy this type of video or my content, or your attention span is really good, or you do it also. This is something I also sometimes do. I just listen to YouTube videos, and then it doesn't matter, right? If you just if there is a lot of b-roll or not. Let me know in the comments section below what your thoughts are about this. And if you want to see yesterday's video, check it up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here, and help me to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know it's January. Push the button up here, and then we see each other tomorrow. Thank you very much.